topics that were on Yahoo Answers, and there was actually a guy who said, I'm doing a persuasive speech on technology, can someone help me out? He was asking for help online. And, thank you.
Sorry about being late and everything. I've not been able to email you back, but I got everything ready for today.
All right, so you're ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll hear you in just a second.
Okay.
All right, Kristen, what did you think?
I thought you did a really good job. I liked how at the beginning in the intro, how you did an overview of what you were going to talk about. It was really nice to help us follow along. And I also liked how you incorporated personal examples with your cited sources. I think it was a nice balance. And I had a really easy time following the whole thing. I thought it was really well organized. And the only thing was I think that you fidgeted a little bit with your paper. That was like one thing that I noticed. And but you had really good eye contact. I thought that you weren't looking at the script. Only when you were like reading like a cited source. That's the only time I really saw you reading from it. Most of the time you just kept your focus on the audience. And yeah, I think overall it was really well done.
I'd agree with a lot of those comments. I thought maybe you went a little long on the survey at the beginning. You know, one or two questions is probably enough, and it just seemed like it got a little excessive. But when you got to the topic, it was very clear, and you had a good preview of what you were going to be talking about. It's signposted internally, so it's easy to follow all of those things. I thought you did a very nice job citing the sources as you were presenting information, and then intermixing the sources that you're citing with your own examples and illustrations. I thought that worked especially well in the middle sections and the later sections. In the first section, when you're talking about paying bills, for instance, I'm still trying to look about what's the negative thing about the convenience of doing some of those sorts of things. You know, the fact that we don't know how to do it, but do we ever need to know how to do it if we have that convenience? You kind of come up with this hypothetical, what if the internet wasn't working, we wouldn't know how to pay our bills. And I think, there's a whole world of things out there that what if, for instance, what if transportation broke down? How would I know how to slaughter my own animals and cut them up and serve them? That's a skill that I don't know. Everybody knew that 100 years ago. Today, nobody knows those kinds of things. Is it a big loss? It's kind of a hypothetical sort of thing. On the other hand, when you talk about the personal issues and people's social skills, I think that you've got a good argument there that really does have some daily ramifications for people, and that you could develop that a little bit more. I like the examples that you had, your coworker using the walkie-talkie to talk to somebody who's 20 feet away, or the neighbor who can't just call. I think if you'd introduced that term earlier, the extreme dependence on technology term, in the opening section, it would make some of the other things a little more sensible when you're talking about them later on. On the presentation issues, I thought that you were a little bit louder this time, and I thought that worked well. Maybe that the audience is smaller, I don't know. Then we could hear you better because there's not the competing background noise. But I thought you did a pretty good job on that. I kind of agree with Kristen. I think for the most part you're talking to the audience. When you go to the paper, two things make it noticeable. Your tone kind of falls a little bit more into that reading sort of thing. And the other thing is the paper's so big that you're holding it up, and it's so noticeable then. And I think if you went to cards, for instance, instead, and just had the quotes on the cards and maybe the highlight of the structure, it wouldn't seem quite as, it wouldn't be as distracting. I didn't think that it was bad. I just thought that it would be better if you did it the other way around. All right. Thank you.